All right, let's take a look at our warm-up. Do this in the back of your math comp book, please. Um, do you understand? And then there's a do you know how? There's two different questions. And the do you understand, the generalized question, is a lot more challenging. So again, if you're ever taking a test and you run into something like that, don't occupy your time with that question. Mark it, move on. And then so let's go to the do you know how? I think this is one that we ended yesterday with that you guys all just did outstanding. Okay, so the length of the fish a fisherman catches, F, must be at least 10 inches. So we know our critical values. We have F and we've got the 10 inches. So it must be at least. So ask yourself this, could it equal 10 inches? If it can, then we will put a line to include that as part of our answer. Okay, if it's at least 10 inches, could it be 9? No, that's not big enough, right? Could it be 11? Yes. So we want this number to be bigger than the 10. So that variable, we're going to indicate it here as the number or the fish is greater than or equal to 10. And then we could graph this. So I'm going to move our answer just because of space. So we found that to be our answer. But we can graph this. We've got 0 here and we've got 10 here. And this tells me, this greater than or equal to, tells me it's a closed dot. Remember that line underneath means when I'm going to close the dot, I'm going to include that as part of my answer. Greater than tells me I'm going to go to the right. And I'm going to draw an arrow to indicate all numbers greater than 10. Okay, now we're going backwards. We started this problem. It was challenging. We weren't sure about it. I know we didn't even read it, but I had read it before, so I kind of understood. So sorry. So what is the difference between an equation with a variable and an inequality with a variable? Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to write an equation with a variable, then we're going to write an equation or an inequality with a variable, and we're going to look at what's the difference. So I've got n equals 4. That's an equation. An equation has an equal sign. An inequality has a greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, or greater than or less than symbol. So these are the two things. We've got the same variable, we've got the same number. What's the difference between the equation versus the inequality? Well, in an equation, how many solutions are there? How many times can n equal 4? N equals 4, there is one possible solution. And that is when n equals 4. Okay, in this inequality, how many answers are there? How many numbers can you think of, n numbers that are less than 4? You can probably think of 3, 2, 1, etc. How many are there? There are infinite amount of answers. So some of you knew this, which was kind of cool, but to do infinity is like a sideways 8. That's infinity. So there's infinite amount of numbers less than 4.